All right, in this module, what I want to get into is your toolkit. So essentially what we're going to delve into, and I titled it Remote Management. I am huge on lifestyle by design. How can we live on purpose and with purpose? Being with our family, traveling and working remotely. I think that's kind of one of the big points in life is not being able to be tied to one area, but rather how can we're huge into motorhoming and traveling the country. How do I operate mobile home parks if I'm not at my house where all my software and my computer's at? How do I do this remotely? How do I work with a virtual team? And how do I get everything set up and automated? And in this toolkit, let's just kind of briefly explore it. I believe I've got 19 pages for you where you got links, and I just kind of want to cover in broad strokes, if you will, the different systems that I deploy and use on a daily basis in order to not only find, manage, and operate mobile home parks. So let's get into it right here. Basecamp. Basecamp is an awesome platform. I have our whole entire virtual team on Basecamp. We also have managers of our mobile home parks on Basecamp. YouTube has a lot of really good tutorials. I've got a coupon here where if you sign up for Basecamp, you get a $50 credit. And I'll be honest, they give me a $50 credit as well. And I use that $50 on hiring my virtual team to edit these videos for you, for you, I should say, and just kind of put it right back into the company to add as much value as I can for you. So Basecamp is worth checking out. I could, but I wouldn't want to operate a mobile home park without using Basecamp. What I do is I'll have managers take daily photos, making sure that they did clean up, and you can put timestamps on that. I will literally have my virtual team from, say, the Philippines communicate and collaborate with managers here in the US. So it's very powerful software. It's definitely worth taking a look at. Grasshopper. I wouldn't own a mobile home park with your own personal phone number. You're not going to want your managers or your residents calling you on Thanksgiving or Christmas Day, letting you know that there's a leak. So you want to isolate yourself, and Grasshopper is a perfect platform for this. I have it on my iPhone, the app on my iPhone. So what you do is when you call different residents, it's going to come from a different number as opposed to your cell phone number. They also have really good automating software where you can do press 1 for a plumber, press 2 for maintenance. So that's a very good feature on that as well. To top it off even more, what I do is I'll train my residents and I'll let every one of my calls go to voicemail, and I will have the resident leave a message on there. And then what Grasshopper do is it transcribes that voicemail and then sends you an email. So what I'll do is I'll have my virtual team go into that particular email that you can set up through Grasshopper. You can set up a new email for your mobile home park, just set up a Gmail account for free. I'll have my virtual team go in there and have them let me know if this is an item that is of importance, if you will. If not, then a lot of the calls, I can be honest with you, probably 80% of the calls don't warrant a call back. It may be some resident bitching about somebody riding a scooter through there, or just something that's just that number 2 didn't pick up their trash, or number 2's trash can tipped over, something super basic. So your time is far too precious than to have your personal cell phone ringing. And again, Grasshopper isolates you from that. So it's a great, great source. PEX. I believe I've got a code in here for you as well on the PEX card. So here's what we do on PEX card is it's a reloadable Visa card that you can give to your manager. Now, true story. We own a park out in Indiana, and we've got a manager. Now, mind you, a lot of your managers, they don't make a lot of money. They're not sitting around on a bunch of petty cash unless if you give that to them, which we personally really don't do that. We don't like to have our managers have cash and whatnot. So with this PEX card, it's a Visa card, and you're able to load money just digitally through your computer. So if you want to send over $100, you can do that instantly through PEX. Now, again, we had one of our pipes broke in one of our homes on a mobile home park, and it was a 50-cent piece, and just the manager, he was tapped out. His account was overdrawn, and it happens. It happens to all of us. So had he have had this at the time, he could have just taken this card down to the hardware store and bought that 50-cent piece, and we wouldn't have had to deal with a water leak flooding the basement of this home that's on our property at our mobile home park. So again, just keep 20 bucks in there, have them send over the receipt, have them take a picture of the receipt and upload it onto Basecamp. That's exactly what we do. Rescue Time, just excellent software for time management. I love that. SaneBox, I use this. You don't necessarily need this to manage a mobile home park. I have what's called Zero Inbox, and I control my emails. I'm not letting individuals control me, if you will. So here's an example. Say you get to the point, and I congratulate you if you do, and I hope that you do, but say you get 10 mobile home parks. You're going to want to set up 10 different email accounts. Now, what SaneBox does, instead of blasting your inbox, you can create folders and you can train your email, if you will. So if someone sends you an email for this particular mobile home park, then it's going to get packaged up into that particular folder, which is absolutely huge. Sticker Mule, I love this site, seeing as what you can do is you can do just different stickers or magnets. What I'll do is I will create magnets that I have individuals put on their refrigerators, and it's essentially training our residents on how to go and deposit lot rent. So quite literally, I will draw a map of the directions to the nearest, say, Wells Fargo or Chase, and then they'll know how to get there. It'll just be, I find the closest bank to the mobile home park, and then what I'll do is I'll also put our account number on there and what the when it's due, what the late fee is by this date. So what I'm kind of doing is not only I'm showing them our account number so they don't forget that. I'm showing them how to go and deposit the lot rent, but I'm also subconsciously kind of trying to get in their mind, if you will, knowing that, hey, maybe instead of buying a 6-pack of beer and some chips, they're mindful that, you know what, I've got lot rent coming up. So that's just one of the strategies that we deploy. Get response. This is great on mass email marketing, if you will. This is not so much on operations on mobile home park, but I don't know if you watched my videos on the 16 tactics on how we go to find mobile home parks. This is more of reaching out to mobile home park suppliers, brokers, realtors, and just kind of a mass email marketing, if you will, which is a great strategy on how to find deals. Postal Methods, this is huge. All right, so I want to share an example with you really quick. Now, let's say that I am on the Oregon coast with the kiddos, having a campfire, just relaxing, and I have a 4 residents, for example, at Park XYZ. And guess what? I logged onto our account on, just say Wells Fargo, for example, and I noticed they haven't deposited. So obviously they need to be sent a late fee. Number one, you can have your manager put it on their door, which is great. We do the same thing. Number two, I love redundancy on everything. I'm huge on systems, and you're probably getting a gist of that by now. So what I'll do is I've got no affiliation at all with Postal Methods. This is the best platform that I've found for doing these one-off mailings. So here's what I'll do. Maybe I'll step away from the campfire and I will log on to Postal Methods on my iPhone. I'll figure out who didn't pay. And what I'll do is I just simply type in their name and their address, and I will attach the late notice, and Postal Methods will send that off to the resident. So I don't have to print anything up. I just simply log on there. What you do is you add credit. I think it's about 96 cents per mailing. But you think about it, what's your time worth? Your time is far too valuable than to go to Staples and get ink or go to the dang store and print up late notices, especially when you're on vacation. So as you can see, I kind of built this whole entire my philosophy, if you will, on how I can manage everything remotely. So I definitely take the time to check out Postal Methods. Put $5 in there, send a letter to yourself, and test it out. It's super cool, and I love the heck out of it. 99 Designs. This is really good. Again, if you're doing different magnets or just different marketing campaigns. My book Park Place, I use 99 Designs. Maybe you do. You've got an operations packet that you send to your manager on how to manage the mobile home park. So they're really good with helping you with just different logos and whatnot. That's where I get pretty much all of my logos. Easy Landlord Forms. This is a really great site in that you need to be mindful of leases and maybe new owner letters or eviction letters or 3-day notices as it pertains to the state that you're investing in. I've found Easy Landlord Forms just to be a really good site on, say you invest in Kentucky. Well, it might be a little bit different in Idaho. So I find it worth buying their forms as opposed to using just somebody's generic form, if you will. So that's worth checking out. I just wanted to get that added to the toolkit. Fancy Hands, this is a really great on-demand virtual assistant site. So what I want to kind of cover here is you've got what's called on-demand, and then you have what's called just kind of your typical virtual assistant, meaning the on-demand one, you pay per task, and your typical virtual assistant, you pay per hour. So Fancy Hands is a really good site. It's a little bit more expensive. Upwork's a really good one as well. For the first time, I'm offering a program called Leverage. So you can check that out at parkplacemhp.com. I've got a program where you can work directly with my virtual assistants. I've got packages starting as low as $49. And literally, I am personally going to walk you through the exact step-by-step process on how to automate, how to leverage, and how to work with a virtual team. Okay, and then we're just going to continue with just rent control laws, a couple interviews that I've been on with the Godfather, Frank and Dave. So just go through this, take the time. I just kind of wanted to cover the high level platforms that we're using as it pertains to mobile home parks. All right, I hope I was able to add a lot of value for you in this video, I should say, and I thank you for your time. I know this is a lot. It's like drinking through a fire hose, but just break it apart one layer at a time. I believe in you, and I know you've got this.